Thank you for joining me on this episode of having a better understanding of the central nervous system. Now, we know that the nervous system is comprised of the brain and the spine and all the nerves that go through it to communicate to the body. Now, to put things into perspective, we have over 60 trillion cells and to the 10th component of microorganisms. So it's an incredible amount of little entities that are gathered to form one ecology, one organism called the body. And so the nervous system is an electrical system that communicates to the whole colony so that everyone receives the message in lightning speed so that it could respond promptly. Now, the central nervous system, as I said, the brain and the spine, but it's divided into two components. One of them is the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the one that is active during your waking hours. It's the one that's always alert, always checking. It's the one that is referred to fight, flight, freeze. Now, you may have heard fight or flight. If you want to take an example of ancient times being chased by a bear, you either fight, so you stand up and you fight the bear, or flight, which is you pick up your pants and you run for your life from the bear, and sometimes, hopefully not, you freeze. So that's where fight, flight, freeze. It's where the messages are sent to all of the parts of your body to say, look, we need resources, so shut down the digestive system, send it to the breathing, muscles need to be activated, the brain needs to be alert, pupils need to be dilated. And so now the whole body is engaged in action. And it's a very much of a survival mechanism. Nowadays, we're not being chased by bears, but what happens is that we have a perceived notion of being chased by a bear. Now, your boss breathing down your neck is that bear. It's natural to have a stress response, but when it becomes a consistent thing day in, day out, it becomes more of a, call it chronic situation. And in the chronic, then what happens is there's a burden that happens in the body, and it's called allostatic burden. The other system that we have is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic is more of the underlying activities that happen in the body that are related when we are at rest, for healing, digesting, and so on. Now, in the subtle energy, there's a whole bunch of nerves. Some say 72,000 spiritual nerves that we have that cannot be identified under a microscope. We do have them. They do exist. They're meridians. They're energy circuits that flow through the body, but not only inside the physical body, but also outside the physical body. And so we can say that we're these big beings of electrostatic magnetic energy, 8 feet in diameter at least, and these nerve endings go in. And so that's why when you meet someone and you come into their bubble, say, you already have an impression of them in that field. Your subconscious is actually reading the information, because all of our existence, all of our experiences are in our electromagnetic field. And so that's how we read each other. These spiritual nerves or meridians circulating information throughout the body, this is called in Hinduism nadis. We have these main energy centers where there's 21 interceptions of these nadis, and they just happen to be along the spine at these really critical areas of the body. So at the base of the spine, in the reproductive system, in the digestive system, at the heart center, at the throat center. in the pituitary or the brow point and the crown. So all of these different areas have glands. We have our glandular system and a lot of nerves crossing through that area, which is bringing a lot of pranic energy, a lot of energy to vitalize the glands. And when these glands are in balance, then we have optimal health.